Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel, Gardening in Cold Spring Harbor. The month of September is finally here. Even though fall 2024 is a few short weeks away, fall garden starts right here, right now. Why? Because in today's video, I'm going to share with you not one, not five, not even 10, but 12 crops, which you would be absolutely crazy not to plant and grow right now in the month of September. So for those of you looking for their online gardening channel, which offers tips, tricks, easy, yet proven gardening advice to take your home garden set at next level, don't go anywhere, guys. Stick around with me today. Start with going below this video and clicking the subscribe button. For those of you who enjoy the content of my videos and want to get notifications every single time I'll upload a new video, don't forget to click the bell icon below as well. Now come with me, let's get gardening. Just because summer season is coming to an end doesn't mean that our home gardens need to cease. Why not prolong our gardening season by starting a fall garden? Great thing about fall garden is that we get to plant cool weather loving crops. The crops that we started to plant back in the very early spring season. And great thing about cool weather loving crops is that they can even withstand light frost. It all starts with figuring out your first anticipated frost date. You can Google your area where you live, the zip code in which you garden. And there are so many websites which will give you your average first anticipated frost date. Then you look at a seed packet, and every seed packet will tell you days from sowing to harvest, days to maturity. You go back to that first anticipated frost date and you count those days backwards. And that will let you know if you still have enough time to sow, grow, and harvest that particular crop. Every seed packet, regardless of the brand, the company, or the crop type, will always have days to maturity listed right on the packet. The seed packet will also tell you if that particular crop is container friendly. For example, this parsley variety, plain or single parsley, is ready for harvesting 40 days from the time you sow it, and it's container friendly as well. Now, if you're a bit shy of that date, you can shave off as much as 3 weeks by either starting your seeds inside, indoors in seed starting trays, as we do late winter, early spring seasons, or you can head on over to your local garden center or plant nursery and purchase ready to plant transplants. This way, the crop that you are growing will be ready for harvesting 3 weeks sooner. Crops which we planted spring season, such as our tomatoes or even our cucumbers, might still give us a few more blooms. They may even still give us few more fruits. But these plants are done. They are spent. They are overworked. There's no reason to keep them intact in the soil of your home garden. Instead, we should be pulling these tired, exhausted crops, harvesting whatever is still left on the plant, re-amending our soil, and making room to plant new crops for our fall gardens. Look at these beautiful tomato. I can't believe I planted this variety in a 10-gallon size container and got an abundant amount of fruits from one individual plant. But you could see that there are no more blooms. There are no more small tomatoes forming. This plant is done, and now I can pull it and use this container to plant some cool weather loving crops, or even herbs for that matter. The 12 crops which I will talk about in this video, absolutely anyone living absolutely anywhere can, and in fact should, plant in the month of September. The only varying factor will be the timing of when you should be planting these crops. For those of you, my fellow home gardeners who live in zones 7 or 8, like I live right over here in Long Island, New York, which is gardening zone 7A. You should be sowing and growing these crops right now, early September. For those of you, my fellow home gardeners who live in cooler zones, and that's zones 6 and below, you should also start sowing and growing these crops early on, very first few days of the month of September. For those of you guys who live in warmer climates, and that's zones 9 and above, including zones 10 and 11, you still have a few weeks of leisure. You can sow and grow these crops mid to end of the month of September. So you can take this time to clear out your garden beds, to re-amend your soil with some compost, with some manure, with some warm castings, you name it, and give yourself a few more weeks before getting your hands nice and dirty again. Let's dive right in, guys, and talk about that first crop, which you absolutely must plant in the month of September and grow in your fall garden. This crop is the must-have fall garden crop. I cannot imagine not growing this crop in my home garden. That crop is garlic. September is the perfect month to plant garlic in our home gardens. For those of you, my fellow home gardeners who are lucky enough to live in warmer climates, warmer gardening zones, and that's zones 9 and above, you can wait a few more weeks and plant your garlic either at the end of September or beginning of October. However, for those of us home gardeners living in zones 8 and below, month of September is the perfect time to plant garlic in the soil of our home garden. I plant my garlic every fall, sometime around the second week of September. And I have that video available on my gardening channel, Gardening in Cold Spring Harbor. I show you step by step how I plant my garlic, various garlic varieties, hardneck, softneck varieties, in raised beds in my backyard garden. And if you're interested in seeing how I plant, grow, and harvest my garlic, I still have all of those videos available on my channel, Gardening in Cold Spring Harbor. In fact, I'm going to link that video up above for those of you who are interested in seeing it as well. The month of September is also when garlic starts to appear for sale in garden centers and plant nurseries, even online stores as well. Those vendors that don't have garlic available for sale immediately right now will still have garlic that you can pre-order in advance, and they'll ship it to you just in time for planting. One question which I get asked very often in regards to growing garlic is if you plant your garlic earlier in the fall season and your garlic starts to grow and sprout above the soil surface, then say your first frost date comes and your tender, delicate garlic sprouts will get frost bitten. The question is, will my garlic be okay? Is it ruined? Will it rot? Will it die? Your garlic will not rot, your garlic will not die, and even if those tender sprouts will get frostbitten, all the magic happens below the soil surface. The garlic head will still continue to grow. Garlic is very frost tolerant, so don't worry about planting and growing your garlic early fall season. You leave it alone, you leave it be, and as the spring temperatures will start to warm up, your garlic will start to wake up and grow beautifully for you. That second crop, which you absolutely must sow and grow in the month of September, is lettuce. Lettuce prefers air temperatures between 55 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit. That's equivalent to 12 to 24 degrees Celsius. If the air temperatures will rise above 75 degrees, you are risking your lettuce bolting, flowering, and going to seed on you. There are so many great, delicious lettuce varieties that you can grow in your home garden. The great thing about growing lettuce is that it only has to be 4 inches tall for you to start harvesting the outer leaves. The more leaves you harvest, the more new leaves your lettuce plant will grow. You can also try growing the head lettuce varieties. However, the head lettuce does take a bit longer from sowing to harvest versus leaf lettuce varieties. There are also so many great lettuce varieties that are container friendly, like this one right over here. The iceberg lettuce takes 62 days from sowing to harvest and is container friendly as well. I have actually planted some delicious leaf lettuce right over here in this 10-gallon size container last week, and you could see that it has already not only sprouted, it's actually actively growing. In a matter of a few short days, I could start harvesting it. Another great thing about growing crops in containers is that if the air temperatures do start to drop unexpectedly, you can always move these containers to a warmer, safer location, hence also extending your harvest time. Don't worry, guys, if the air temperatures start to drop unexpectedly. Lettuce can tolerate even light frost, not freeze. Freeze will kill your lettuce, but not light frost. If you're really concerned, you can just throw a protective cloth over your container, which will help keep the temperatures up and will help protect your delicate crop and extend your harvest time as well. That next third crop, which you will be absolutely crazy not to plant right now in the month of September, are our peas. Anyone, anywhere can plant peas now in the month of September. Peas can be planted absolutely anywhere in your home garden. You can plant them directly in the soil. You can plant them in a raised garden bed, even in a pot or a container. But you should provide a trellis or something that the peas can latch onto and climb onto as they grow. You could see that I already planted my peas right over here together with my sweet mint. They're going to be sharing the soil space together for some time. The peas which I planted literally last week have germinated in a matter of 3 days, and look how tall they're getting already. Another cool fact about growing peas is that pea shoots, or the ends of the pea stems where you see those curly tendrils, are edible as well. They are just as crunchy and just as delicious as the peas and the pea pods themselves. So if the first frost that hits you unexpectedly and you will not have enough time to harvest the actual pea pods, you could still harvest, cook, and consume pea shoots as well. Crop number 4, believe it or not, is zucchini, or summer squash. Unlike winter squash, which can take anywhere between 70 to 110 days from sowing to harvest, there are many summer squash varieties which will be ready for harvest in under 50 days. And there are so many zucchini varieties which are container friendly as well. And with the soil temperatures still being warm, your zucchini seeds will germinate in a matter of 3 to 4 days, and you will be harvesting your zucchini in roughly a month to a month and a half. And with the first anticipated frost date being any time from mid-October to beginning of November, you still have plenty of time to sow, grow and harvest delicious, healthy zucchinis. Right over here in this raised garden bed, I have one zucchini plant left from spring, summer seasons. I'm still leaving it intact because you could see that it's still producing some squash for me, some zucchinis for me. So I'm going to let it hang on for a little bit longer, but you could see how tired and exhausted it is. Right next to it, I have already planted new zucchini plants because the air temperatures during the day are still in the upper 70s. The seeds sprouted in the matter of a few short days, and you could see how quickly and actively these seedlings are growing. They already have put on their first set of true leaves, and I will have plenty of time to harvest these zucchinis, as this variety takes 45 days from sowing to harvest. Since I don't like to waste any space in my home garden, I don't like to leave any beds empty, I have also planted some zucchini in this raised garden bed, and you could see how tall these seedlings are getting. Why let this garden bed sit empty when I can sow, grow, and harvest this zucchini variety in roughly 40 days from sowing to harvest? And I planted this variety roughly a week ago, and it's growing absolutely beautifully. It's exactly where I want it to be. Can't wait to harvest and cook these delicious zucchini for my family. Crop number 5, which you must plant in the month of September, is our spinach. Majority of spinach varieties take as little as 30 days from sowing to harvest. Plant your seeds half an inch deep, and if you're planting multiple rows, space those rows 12 inches apart. If it's still warm in the area where you live, say the temperatures are above 70 degrees during the day, you can cover your spinach to give it a little more shade. And as the air temperatures start to decrease, you're going to have quite a head start when it comes to harvesting delicious, healthy spinach leaves. Crop number 6 are chives. No matter where you live or where you plant chives, chives are a perennial plant, which means they come back for you year after year. Even if you plant chives now, early fall from seed, and you don't get to harvest them this year, they will come up and grow for you next spring season. And I must tell you that every summer, chives put on a beautiful show with their flashy pink lavender colored blooms. Chives also act as a natural insect repellent. If you love growing carrots in your home garden, yet every growing season you have to fight against carrot flies, guess what, my fellow home gardeners? Consider planting a border of chives right around your carrot bed, and guess what? You will once and for all say goodbye to those carrot flies. Carrot flies do not like the scent of chives, and by growing chives around your carrot bed, you're going to naturally repel those unwanted insects. Crop number 7. Not only is it a super easy crop to grow, it's ready for harvesting in as little as 25 days. Planting this crop can be a great garden project to have with your small children. That crop is radish. I know that many are not fond of consuming radish because of its peppery flavor. However, if you do harvest radish when it's still on the smaller side, it won't be as woody, as tough, and as peppery tasting. Try growing radish. and you will never ever go back. You will never regret it. Super easy to grow, and you'll get to harvest it before you know it. Crop number 8 is actually a family of crops that I will combine into one category. That category is any crop that's in the Brassica family. That includes broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, and cabbage. Any and all of those mentioned crops are perfect to be planted now in the month of September. Broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, even cabbage prefer cooler air temperatures. Ideal air temperatures for growing brassicas in our home garden is 60 degrees Fahrenheit or below. When the air temperatures go above 65 degrees Fahrenheit, brassicas tend to bolt, flower, and go to seed on us. Fall is ideal time to plant and grow brassicas in our home gardens, as the air temperatures do not climb up as they do during mid to late spring seasons. In fact, temperatures go down, which is exactly what brassicas need and want. You should get a head start on growing brassicas by sowing and starting them inside, indoors, and seed starting trays. And once your transplants get the first set of true leaves, you can move them right on out and transplant them into the soil of your home garden. Crop number 9, which is extremely cold tolerant crop. That crop can withstand temperatures as low as 20 degrees Fahrenheit. That crop is kale. Majority of kale varieties are ready for harvesting in as little as 50 to 60 days from the time of sowing. Kale can withstand frost as well. You might see some slight wilt in the leaves of your kale plant, but frost by all means will not kill your kale plant. Remember to sow kale seeds 1/4 of an inch deep into the soil, and if you're planting multiple kale plants, space your rows 18 inches apart, and you could start harvesting your delicious, healthy, crunchy kale as soon as it gets its first 4 true leaves. The more leaves you'll harvest, the more new leaves your kale plant will produce for you. Crop number 10, which you absolutely should plant in the month of September, is Swisschart. Just like kale, Swisschart is extremely cold tolerant. Swisschart will tolerate temperatures as low as 15 degrees Fahrenheit, which is equivalent to -8 degrees Celsius. You could start harvesting Swisschart as soon as it gets its first set of 4 leaves. Start harvesting the bigger or older leaves first, because that would encourage new leaf growth and new leaf production. Crop number 11 is cilantro. Cilantro is not only delicious, it's super fragrant as well. Another great thing about growing cilantro is if you let it bolt, flower, and go to seed, you will end up with coriander seeds. Cilantro is also great to grow in pots, grow bags, or containers. Cilantro prefers air temperatures below 80 degrees Fahrenheit. When planting cilantro seeds, plant them 1/2 inch deep. Space plants 6 inches apart or more. If you're planting multiple rows, remember to space those rows 12 inches apart. Another thing to note about cilantro is if when frost hits, it will kill off your plant. I love to grow cilantro in containers. Why? Because when the air temperatures start to drastically cool down, When we're anticipating our first frost date, I move those containers right inside, indoors, into my green room and continue harvesting cilantro all fall and winter seasons long. Crop number 12, or should I say crops that are perfect to plant and grow in our home gardens in the month of September, are our root veggies, which include beets and or carrots. Beets and carrots both love and prefer cooler air temperatures. There are so many delicious, beautiful beet and carrot varieties out there for you to sow and grow in your home garden. With so many new exciting beet varieties out there, no more growing traditional, boring red beet varieties. You can grow yellow beets, orange beets, even multi-colored beet varieties as well. Look how happy my beet plants are right now as the air temperatures are cooling down. They are producing new baby leaf growth. Another great thing about beets is that the foliage of your beet plant is edible as well. So no need to wait until you can harvest the actual roots. You can pinch off leaves from your beet plant and consume them as well. And now for those of you, my loyal viewers, and yes, you guys, my precious subscribers who have stuck around with me till the very end of this video, I will share some bonus crops which you must plant now in the month of September for the most beautiful fall garden of your entire life. That first bonus crop is bunching onions. We grow bunching onions for the green foliage. And guess what, guys? There's no need to go to the garden center or nursery and waste money on bunching onion seeds. You can plant and grow bunching onion from kitchen scraps. For those of you who buy green onions, also known as scallion, at a grocery store, never throw out that end root piece, the white piece of that green onion or scallion. Why? Because if you plant that end piece where the root system is in the soil of your home garden, you're going to end up with free bunching onion in your home garden. It's delicious, crunchy, fragrant, and most importantly, it will sprout and grow in a matter of a few short days, and you can continue harvesting it all fall season long. September is also the perfect month to plant herbs in our home garden. Herbs can be sown, grown absolutely anywhere. Raised beds directly in the soil of your home garden, even in grow bags and containers. I prefer to grow my herbs in pots or containers. I use 20-gallon sized pots, recycled pots to grow my herbs. Two perfect herbs to sow and grow in the month of September are parsley and dill. When sowing and growing parsley or dill in your home garden, whether you're growing them in a container, raised bed, or directly in the soil, make sure that you sow the seeds 1/4 of an inch in depth and you thin your plants so they have enough space to grow. Give them at least 10 inches of space. This is it for this video, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me here today in my home garden in Long Island, New York, Zone 7A. In today's video, I shared with you 12 crops which you must sow and grow in your home gardens in the month of September. If you have enjoyed the content of today's video, if you found today's video to be useful, helpful, informative, in absolutely any way, don't be shy, guys. Show me that support by clicking thumbs up below. Don't forget to leave your comments in the comment section as well. I personally take the time to read each and every single one of your comments, and I respond to each and every single one of you. Let me know, what crops will you be sowing and growing in your fall gardens this year. If you have considered subscribing to my garden channel, Gardening in Cold Spring Harbor, but haven't yet done so, please don't wait any longer. It's super easy to do. Just go below this video and click the subscribe button. Don't forget to click the bell icon as well if you want to get notifications from YouTube. Every single time I'll upload a new garden video, click the bell icon below as well. Stay healthy, happy, be well, each and every single one of you. And as I always like to say at the end of every one of my garden videos, happy gardening, guys. And I'll see you again in my new upcoming garden videos. Bye, guys.